Hello and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History,
Historical calendar,
and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else we gather throughout the show, check the underbar. Anyway, I am Xander.
Monk.
And today is Thursday, also known as Thursday, March 31st, 2022.
You can start it off.
Alright. In the year 307, after divorcing his wife Minervina, Constantine married Fausta, daughter of the retired Roman Emperor Maximin. Interesting.
Okay. Okay. Also, 1146, Bernard of Clairvaux preaches his famous sermon in the field at Falaise, urging the necessity of a second crusade. Louis V is present and joins the crusade.
Oh, dang. Moving on up into 1492, Queen Isabella of Castile issued the Alhambra decree ordering her 150,000 Jewish and Muslim subjects to convert to Christianity or face expulsion. Hey. 150,000. Good lord.
Or face expulsion, that's bad.
Well,
also, 1521, Ferdinand Magellan and 50 of his men came upshore to present-day Lima Suawa to participate in the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines.
nice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, the first of anything is pretty cool, regardless of what it is. Well, I guess some things are better left undone. Anyway, doing another time jump here, moving on up into 1717, a sermon on the nature of the kingdom of Christ by Benjamin Hoadley, the Bishop of Bangor, preached in the presence of King George I of Great Britain, provoked the Bangorian controversy. Hey.
Nice. Also, let's see. Yeah. Also, 1761 to 1761, Lisbon earthquake swipes off the Iberian Peninsula with an estimated magnitude of 8.5. 6 years after another earthquake destroyed the city. Oh yeah.
That's nature telling people to move,
But yeah. You know the cool thing? You know the crazy thing is? You can experience that earthquake in Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Oh dang, that's cool.
Yeah, you're escaping the area
Huh.
to get back to your boat.
That's interesting.
When everything's coming down.
Huh. That's interesting. You're going to have to send me a clip of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
jumping on up into 1774, during the American Revolutionary War, hey look, that rhymes. The Kingdom of Great Britain ordered the port of Boston, Massachusetts, closed pursuant to the Boston Port Act. What was the Boston Port Act? Let me see that. Boston Port Act was an act of the Parliament of Great Britain which became law on March 31st, 1774, and took effect on June 1st of that year. It was one of 5 measures that were enacted during the spring of 1774 to punish Boston for the Boston Tea Party. Well, we saw how well that went out, didn't we?
Yes, we did. So, 1854, Commodore Matthew Perry signs the Convention of Kanagawa with the Tokugawa Shogunate, opening the ports of Shimoda and Hokkaido to the American trade. I'm guessing this was stuff that happened in
Japan.
The Last Samurai?
It might have happened in Last Samurai. I'm not entirely sure what the exact timetable is, but this was during the time where they were modernizing, because they were an isolationist and heavily traditional nation.
Yeah.
The rest of the world was getting ahead of them, and by the time they decided, hey, we gotta stop being so clammed up, they were about 100 years behind everybody else. So
No, I think that's before, because during that time, I think Tom Cruise's character was having PTSD after what he did to those Indians, to Geronimo, or to the Indians.
But that's Native Americans, not Japanese.
But no, I'm trying to pinpoint the time period.
You know what? Let's look it up here.
He was with Custard.
Last Samurai. Time setting. Yeah, 1870s. So this is before.
Yep, before.
The Last Samurai was set in the 1870s, so this was like about 15 years before.
Yep.
Roughly. Anyway, jumping on up into 1885, the United Kingdom established the Buchanaland Protectorate. What the heck is that?
That's a good question. What is that?
It was a protectorate established, on this date in 1885, by the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland and Southern Africa. It became the Republic of Botswana on September 30th, 1966. Well, look at that. So this is Botswana. Well, what would become Botswana? Interesting. Oh, you get a cool one here in 1889.
Yes, it is. In 1889, the Eiffel Tower is officially opened.
Yeah, and something a lot of people don't realize is that there is a tiny apartment at the top.
Yes.
Jumping up in 1889. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think there's a restaurant there too now.
Yes, well, that's separate. That's like, I think even more up. Because like the apartment is kind of hidden, you can't really see it. Like it's hidden by all the scaffolding and all the ironworks and everything. Actually, one of the legs goes like through part of it. Anyway, in 1899, Malolos, capital of the First Philippine Republic, was captured by American forces.
Damn. Also, in 1901, Rosal by Anton Dorvak premieres in the National Opera House in Prague.
Cool. 5 years later, in 1906, the Intercollegiate Athletic Association of the United States, later the National Collegiate Athletic Association, was established to set rules for college sports in the United States. Or as South Park... Yeah.
AKA the NCAA.
Yeah. Well, South Park really opened my eyes to what college sports actually is. It's slavery. Straight up, they don't get paid, and the college makes money off of them. So that's slavery, plain and simple.
Now they made it so they do get paid.
Good, they should.
About time they did that shit.
Yep. Hey, other jobs on campus pay. Why can't the football players, the basketball players, hockey, water polo, whatever, Yeah,
especially because if they get injured, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, where's their compensation? They're out there busting their hump, getting free money for the colleges. They deserve some of that pie. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened in 1909?
In 1909, Serbia formally withdraws from its opposition to Austria-Hungarian action in the Bosnian crisis.
4 years later, in 1913, the Vienna Concert Society rioted during a performance of modernist music by Arnold Schoenberg, Alban Berg, Alexander von Zemlinsky, and Anton von Webern, causing a premature end to the concert due to violence. This concert became known as the Scandal Concert. All right.
Oh, Scandal Concert.
Scandal Concert.
Damn. Yeah. Also, in 1917, according to the terms of the Treaty of Danish West Indies, the islands become American possession.
Oh, wow. 1 year later, in 1918, a massacre of the ethnic Azerbaijanis was committed by Allied armed groups of Armenian Revolutionary Federation and Bolsheviks. Nearly 12,000 Azerbaijan Muslims were murdered. Jesus.
Yes, horrible. Also, in 1921, the Royal Australian Air Force is formed.
Nice. Crikey, kangaroos in the sky, watch out.
And then there are parrots and koalas.
Watch out for them drop bears.
Oh, that shit made me laugh when you said that.
Moving on up into 1930, the Motion Picture Production Code was instituted, imposing strict guidelines on the treatment of sex, crime, religion, and violence in film in the U.S. for the next 38 years. So until 1968. And then, what was that, the FCC came in? When did the FCC start? When did the FCC start? 1934. Okay, well that's okay. So yeah, they just bled into the FCC.
Yep. Also, 1931, a transcontinental and western airliner crashes near Bazaar, Kansas, killing 8, including University of Notre Dame head football coach Knut Rourke.
Dang. That's not good. That is a bizarre name for a city. Bizarre. You know?
Yes, it is.
Also in 1931, an earthquake in Nicaragua destroys Managua, killing 2,000. Shame.
Damn, man. Yes. Also in 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps is established with the mission of relieving rampant unemployment in the United States.
Good. Doing a little bit of a time jump here. In 1942, during World War II, Japanese forces invaded Christmas Island, which was then a British possession. Damn, the Japanese, they're taking over Christmas.
Yeah, 1940. Yeah, too bad you don't believe it.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, no. Like, there are Christian Japanese. Have you seen that picture of It's titled, "I don't think Japan fully understands what Christmas is about," and they have Santa on a crucifix.
Yeah, I see that. Hey, don't you talk shit about Santa. Santa died for our sins.
If you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. We have a job to do. Come on, let's gamble.
Yes. Gamble, smoke, drink.
Adultery.
Invite me to do it.
Covet thy neighbor's wife. Anyway, what happened in 1945?
In 1945, World War II, after a defecting German pilot delivers a Messerschmitt Me 262A1, the world's first operational jet-powered fighter craft, to the Americans, the first to fall into Allied hands.
I remember hearing about that. That's nuts.
Yeah. The fucking Germans had a fucking jet.
Yeah, during World War II. Well, actually, if it wasn't for Mustache Man, they would have had it probably in the late 30s. Like, he was really not a fan of jet technology, more about big guns, bigger guns, and even bigger guns. He actually had a project on, one section of the French coastline, I think in Calais, with a series of gigantic cannons that were buried into the ground to bombard from over the English Channel. Like, this guy was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, jumping up into 1951, the Remington Rand delivered the first UNIVAC 1 computer to the United States Census Bureau. Ooh, cool.
Yeah. 1957, elections to the Territorial Assembly of the French colony Upper Malta are held. After the elections, PDU and NDU form a government.
Interesting. PDU and MDV, yes. What is that? Let me look that up real quick. PDU. Okay, so MDV is the Volodic Democratic Movement. It's not telling me about PDU. Unified Democratic Party, I think. Party Democratic Unified. So, alright. Moving on up into 1958, in the Canadian federal election, the Progressive Conservatives, led by John Diefenbaker, won the largest percentage of seats in Canadian history with 208 out of 265. Wow.
So, and in 1959, the 14th Dalai Lama crossed the border into India and is granted political asylum.
Nice. Yeah. Once again, China causing problems. All the way since before we even opened up trade with them. Nixon was a madman. Absolute idiot. Anyway, 5 years later, in 1964, Brazilian General Olímpio Muraro Filho ordered his troops to move towards Rio de Janeiro, beginning the coup d'etat. Coup d'etat in Brazil.
This man's got a Facebook?
What? Olympio?
I mean, no, not... No, I'm talking about Dalai Lama. He's got a YouTube.
Wait, he has a YouTube?
The Dalai Lama has a YouTube.
Oh, he does? What the hell?
Yo, okay, that's cool.
Dalai Lama. Okay, well, I subscribed him.
Wow, that's interesting.
I wonder if he'll recognize me. I sent him dude, I remember, several years ago, back in, 2016, 2017, when I had a Twitter, I tweeted at China, F you, and I use the actual word, free Tibet. And then Tibet sent me a tweet back. I have screenshots. It's hilarious. So I wonder if they'll remember my name. It was the same name, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, in 1966, the Soviet Union launched Luna 10, which later became the first space probe to enter orbit around the moon. Look at that. Look at that. Once again, those blasted Soviets defeating us.
Yeah. Also, 1968, American President Lyndon B. Johnson speaks to the nation of steps to limit the war in Vietnam. In a television address at the conclusion of his speech, he announces, "I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president."
Dang. Well, that's because he became president after Kennedy was assassinated. What a coincidence. So, jumping on up into 1970, Explorer 1 re-entered the Earth's atmosphere after 12 years in orbit.
Damn.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Also, 1980, 10 years later, the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific Railroad operates its final train after being ordered to liquidate its assets because of bankruptcy, the debts owed to the creditors.
Creditors.
Yeah,
that's sad. Yeah. Another 10 years after that, in 1990, approximately 200,000 protesters took to the streets of London to protest against the newly introduced poll tax. When will the Brits stop taxing people, including themselves? Come on, it never ends well for you guys. Seriously. Just sit there, drink your tea, and eat your crumpets, and just leave the rest of the world the fuck alone,
God damn, the crumpets. Did you just insult the crumpets?
I will insult the crumpets. Tim Tams are better anyway.
Damn. Okay. 1991, Georgian independence referendum. Nearly 99% of the voters supported the country's independence from the Soviet Union.
Dang. Well, there's always got to be some naysayers, but yep. Good thing that they're woefully outnumbered. 365 days after that, in 1992, the Treaty of Federation was signed in Moscow. What is the Treaty of Federation? It has to be something to do with the fall of the Soviet Union. It was signed. It was signed between the Russian government and 86 of 89 federal subjects of Russia. Alright, so yeah, this is a clear liquidation of things. There's not much on the wiki about this either, so I'm going to post this in the underbar. Anyway, jumping on up into 1992 as well, the USS Missouri, the last active United States Navy battleship, was decommissioned in Long Beach, California. I have been on that. Actually, a couple years back, I believe it was the Missouri. So, what happened in 93?
Oh, yeah. In 1993, the Mako Basic Law is adopted by the 8th National People's Congress of China to take effect December 20th, 1999, reassumption by China of the exercise of sovereignty over Mako.
2 years later, in 95, Selena was murdered by her fan club president Yolanda Salvador at a Days Inn in Corpus Christi, Texas. Well, that's not nice.
And I think she killed herself afterward.
Oh, the fan club president?
Yeah, the shooter. Yep.
Dang, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, she was taking money.
The fan club president?
Yeah, and Selena confronted her, and that's what happened. Also, 1995, Tarom Flight 371 and Airbus A310-300 crashes near Balotesi, Romania, killing all 60 people on board.
60 people doesn't seem a lot for an Airbus, but that still sucks. Yeah. 3 years later, in 1998, Netscape released Mozilla source code under an open source license. Mozilla Firefox, the best, period, web browser in all of the world. You will not change my mind. As Google Chrome, once again, it's Google crap. It sucks up your RAM. Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge, is just crap. What else? Opera is just crap, So, let's see here. Well, what happened in 2004?
In 2004, the Iraq War in Anbar province in Fallujah, Iraq, 4 American private military contractors working for Blackwater USA are killed after being ambushed. Well, they're mercenaries.
Yeah. Well, they knew the risk going in. That sucks, but still, you go into a war zone to expect to be treated like a soldier. Anyway, 2018, start of the 2018 Armenian Revolution. I did not know Armenia had a revolution, but...
Yes, it did. Yeah. Oh.
Any articles intrigue you today?
Yeah, that jet.
Yes. That is interesting.
That could have, that jet that could have probably won the war for them.
Yeah. Had Mustache Man, actually paid attention and accepted all forms of technology. Instead of trying to build a big-ass tank like the Ratte or the Mouse, Mine was, once again, your jet, but also the Missouri, the last active U.S. Navy battleship, was decommissioned, as well as, where'd it go? I forgot. Yeah. Anyway, moving on into bursts. Why don't you start us off?
Yes, I will. In bursts. 1360, Philippa of Lancaster.
Yeah. One hell of a time jump. 1813, Felix Maria Zuloaga, a Mexican general and unconstitutional interim president in 1858, as well as 1860 through 1862. Dang.
Well, also, 1819, Cholodig, Prince of Hohenlohe, circle first. That's it.
Yep. 1872, Sergei Diaghilev Russian ballet manager and critic who founded the Ballets Russes.
Oh shit, never mind. It turned to the side.
Oh no.
Okay. 1890, William Lawrence Bragg, Australian English physicist and academic.
1926, Beni Montresor, an Italian director, set designer, author, and illustrator.
Nice. Ow.
You there?
Yeah. 1927, Cesar Chavez, U.S.-born leader and activist.
Wasn't he a terrorist or something? Like, wasn't he? I don't remember. Like, no, that was Hugo Chavez, right?
Yeah, it's Hugo Chavez, and he's Venezuelan.
Ah, I got my Chavezes mixed up. Yeah, Cesar Chavez. Then I think he was. Wasn't he involved with the Banana Revolution?
I think so. Don't.
Venezuelan. No, Hugo Chavez. So Hugo Chavez, in his ineptitude, caused the Banana Revolution. Oh wait, no.
Yep.
Cesar Chavez. I remember it was something to do with like farmers' rights and such, or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on up into 1928, Lefty Frizzle was born on this date. U.S. singer, songwriter, and guitarist. And is he the husband of that Magic School Bus crazy teacher, Miss Frizzle?
Don't know. Also, 1931, Miller Barber, U.S. golfer.
That name had two career options, and he chose neither of them. Like, he could have been a miller, like milling flour or something, or he could have been cutting hair, but instead he decides to hit a tiny ball with a stick over acres of land. Hey, people just don't realize what they're capable of. Anyway, moving on up to 1934, we have John D. Loudermilk, a U.S. singer, songwriter, guitarist, and I really do like my milk noisy, Like, every time I have some cookies and milk, if my glass isn't screaming, I'm not happy. I want it louder. Milk is louder.
Also, 1939, David Gamasukordia, Georgian anthropologist and politician who was the first president of Georgia.
Nice. I would have hated to manage that campaign. Vote Gamshakurdia. Jumping on up into 1942, we have Hugh McCracken, U.S. guitarist and producer. That's a badass name. Well, here's another badass name.
Also, 1942, Michael Savage, U.S. radio host and author.
And the source called him far right, so that just tells me that he's not a lunatic. So
he's so far right he left. I'm joking.
He just circumvented the entire spectrum. Moving it up into 1943, Christopher Walken was born on this date. Happy birthday,
Whoa.
strange-sounding man. He's a U.S.
Wow.
actor. Yeah.
The fact that you didn't try to do it in his voice. Come on.
I've tried before, and I do a very bad impersonation. Like, I just...
Okay.
I essentially just talk like myself, but, like, with his, like, verbalisms. Like, walking in a winter wonderland. Like,
Okay. Also, 1948, Al Gore, U.S. soldier and politician who was the 45th Vice President of the United States.
Yeah. 1971, Craig McCracken, a U.S. animator, producer, and screenwriter. That's not as badass as the before one. Who cares about Craig, No.
Mm-hmm. Also, 1972, Evans Williams, U.S. businessman and piece of shit who co-founded Twitter and Spira Labs.
Yep, he founded the Twitter Twatter, or co-founded it. So screw him. 1982, we have Audrey Kawasaki, a U.S. painter and possible motorcycle. Or a jet ski. Kawasaki has jet skis now. Do they also have snowmobiles?
Yeah.
Yeah, she can go into all sorts of environments. Then last but not least, in 1989, we have Alberto Martin Romo Garcia Adamez, a Spanish footballer. What a name.
Oh, yeah, also in 1988, we have Hawk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in 1988, we have Hawk.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, moving on to the deaths in 32 BC, we have Titus Pomponius Atticus, a Roman nobleman of the Equestrian Order. My Little Pony? Was he a princess?
No, and also in 963, Abu Jafar Ahmad Ibn Muhammad, Safarian Emir.
Yeah. Doing a bit of a time jump, actually, almost twice the number as before. We have 1850, John C. Calhoun, an American lawyer and politician who was the 7th Vice President of the United States.
Let's see. Okay. 1913, J.P. Morgan, U.S. banker and financier.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Yep. Goodbye. 1935, Georgius V. Machiavelli, Georgian U.S. businessman and diplomat who founded Prince Machiavelli Perfume. Because everybody needs to smell nice.
Yeah. Also in 1944, Menichi Koga, Japanese admiral.
1968, Grover Loudermilk died on this date, a U.S. baseball player, and more overly high volume moo juice. I want my milk to scream!
Damn. Also, let's see. 1970, Seymour Timoshenko, Soviet commander during the Winter War and the Eastern Front of World War II.
Yeah. 8 years later, in 1978, Charles Herbert Best died on this date. He was a U.S.-Canadian physiologist and biochemist who co-discovered insulin. So, yeah, for all you diabetics out there, thank this guy. And whoever else discovered it as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Also, 1980, Jesse Owens, U.S. sprinter and long jumper.
Wasn't he the guy who basically, gave the finger to the Nazis?
He pretty much beat one of their people
that
Hitler had in the Olympics.
Yeah, I still love Bill Burr's bit about it. About like an even angrier Hitler in the car on the ride back. 1993, we have Brandon Lee. Hey, that rhymed. U.S. actor and martial artist. That was the guy who got killed via the gunshot thing, right?
Yeah, in The Crow. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy. In 2003, we have Harold Scott MacDonald Coxeter, an English-Canadian mathematician and academic.
Damn. Also, 2008, Jules Dassin, U.S. director, producer, screenwriter, and actor.
Also in 2008, Bill Knightley, a U.S. equipment manager. And in 2011, we have Mary...
Yeah, 2011, we have Mary Gay Reyes, the first female of the first world nation to join the Canadian Armed Forces. Wow.
Yeah. 5 years later, in 2016, Zaha Hadid died on this date. He was an Iraqi-born English architect and academic who designed the Bridge Pavilion. What is the Bridge Pavilion? Let me look that up.
It is French.
Bridge Pavilion. That's pretty cool. It's a very expensive looking bridge. Actually, it's a bridge that's a pavilion. What the hell? I mean, that's pretty cool, dude. Like, there's like shops and stuff in there, it looks like. Or there can be. I'd like to visit that one day. Anyway, that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any links that you may be interested in, which also include
Sohin TV on Twitch.
and everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day between 12 to 3 Pacific time.
2 to 5 Central.
Yep. And until you see us tomorrow, I am Xander.
Look.
And you are you. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Yeah.